Hi, everybody. Thank you for that warm welcome and introduction. So you guys can hear me good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna get started. I don't want to be in front of you that long, but it's gonna be enjoyable. So I'm just gonna. Sorry, I'm so sorry. So this is just an introduction
Have
that
you ever
starts with
driven
what I
through a
do.
really nice neighborhood and wondered, what do these people do for a living? It'd be nice if you could drive up, knock on their door, and say, how do you have so much money? And how do I figure that out for myself? We don't do that because, well, it'd be awkward, but also because it can feel embarrassing to admit we don't understand it. Money can be a mystery. The truth is, it's okay to wonder those things and to ask for help. It's just important to know who to ask and where to look for answers. Years ago, a group of us were working all kinds of jobs. Some of us were new college graduates looking for our first job. Every one of us were either lacking the money, freedom of time, or both to live the life we really wanted. But eventually, we did find success. It wasn't because we were unusually smart, good looking, or well connected. We simply tapped into a professional business that meets a huge need in the marketplace, and one that has a simple enough system to allow everyday people like us to build six-figure recurring incomes. It did take some hard work and focus, but over time, it allowed each of us to reach a level of freedom and flexibility that most people only ever dream of. And today, thanks to technology and innovation, what's possible for you is even bigger than it was for us. Our work is in the financial industry, and what our business does is change lives. We provide cutting edge digital tools and personalized guidance that helps people navigate their money decisions to become debt free, invest smarter for their future, and leave a legacy for their family. Ultimately, we make it possible for people to worry less about money and enjoy life more. Literally, pretty much everyone wants and needs this. You can start into this part time just like we did, and there is no limit to your income. If that interests you, we invite you to take the next step and give us a chance to tell you more about a business that you can participate in so you can make more than a living. You can make a life.
Okay, and thank you for listening into that quick commercial. So my name is Shavon Sampson. I'm a division leader based, in the company. I'm a team officer and a captain, and I'm based out in Columbia, Maryland. All right. And so on today's agenda, I will just share my personal story with you all just briefly. And I want you to ask yourself 4 questions during this presentation. Okay. Number one, are we a credible company based on the information that I'm going to share with you? Number two, do you all think that people need what we do? Number three, would your life be better if you implemented some of the financial strategies that I'm going to present to you? And number four, could you accomplish all your goals and dreams, maybe working with us? Okay, so our main focus is on 2 things. And the first thing is investments. We teach people how to grow your money, right? And the second thing is life insurance. We show people how to properly protect your family, whether you live too long or you die unexpectedly too soon. You and your family could still head towards financial freedom. I'm going to share some important information with you all, and what you do with that information is totally, truly up to you. The choice is yours. Okay. And so my story starts with well, I used to be a hairstylist. I did hair for about 20 years, and off and on, having children and everything. I own my own hair salon, my own small clothing boutique. And so but that industry took me away from my family a lot. And it was a lot of just not mommy. My parents wasn't in the house how it should have been. I did pray to God and asked him to help me find something that I could do that's going to better ourselves. But you know how God, and he has a tendency of doing some funny things in a beautiful way. So I had a car accident, right? And then that did set me back. And I was able to stay home more. We had that pandemic, businesses closed. And then I had another baby after 17 years. And so that allowed me to come back home and start a whole new career. And so this is what I did. All right. And so I'm going to start with the investment part first. Okay. And has anyone heard of the rule of 72? Now, I want to, maybe see if somebody want to have a little dialogue with me. Is there anybody in the audience that want to have a little dialogue with me? Has anybody heard of the rule of 72 before? No, well, let's just everybody can just answer out. All right. Okay. Because usually people are on Zoom and I can see their name and faces, and I can be able to say, hey, can you unmute yourself? And they'll unmute yourself. So we could just do an audience participation. So the rule of 72 is pretty simple, and it was founded by Albert Einstein over 100 years ago. He wanted to figure out a formula to determine how long it would take for his money to double in an investment account based on the rule of return, right? He wanted to see how often his money was going to double. So it's pretty simple. Divide your interest rate into the number 72 to find that approximate number of years it takes for your money to double. So let's say you had $10,000, all right? And you put that $10,000 into the bank, maybe into a CD, gaining a 3%. So you take that 72 divided by 3, that number's 24. Now, would it take a whole 24 years for that 10,000 to become 20, then another 24 years for that 20,000 to become 40? How many 24 years do we really have? How many? Not many, not long, right? So would you want your money to be in that type of slow account? Absolutely not. Let's see something a little better. Let's say you take your 10,000 and you put it into a 401k, earning 6%. So you take the 72 divided by 6, that number's 12. So now your money is going to double every, 12 times over the same 48-year period. Your money will double 8 times, right? No, I'm sorry, 4 times. And then that 10,000 will become 20 in 12 years. And then at 48 years, you will have 160,000. Now, let me ask you, how many years could it take for somebody how many years could somebody stay retired if they only had $160,000 at retirement? Not long, right? Would you guys agree, like 1 to 2 years, how things are, prices are rising now, right, at retirement? So let's say you take that same 10,000 and now you're going to put it into a mutual fund. And so we're going to get into mutual funds, but let's say you take that 10,000, so 72 divided by 12, that number 6. Now your money is going to double 8 times over that same 48-year period, right? And someone will have 2.5 million versus that 160 or 40. And we just ask people, which way would they want to retire? Or which account would they want their money to be in? And the 3%, the 6, or the 12? And you guys are definitely going to pick 12, right? Right. So that's how, and that's all we do in this industry. We teach people how to get a 12% rate of return. And we also teach people about mutual funds. Okay. And so how do someone win the game of money if they don't know the rules to the rule of 72? And we just want to share with people, because banks and insurance companies, they don't have any incentives on teaching us this rule. And they should have taught us this rule in school, and we would have been out to be, in a better situation. And so let's say you take that same 10,000 and you put it into a bank, right? You put it into a savings account, money market account. So what do you think the bank is going to give you on your money while, it's in the bank? And wouldn't you guys say that they will absolutely give you less than 1%? Right. They're going to give you less than 1%. So what do you think they're doing with our money while they have possession of it? So the bank is putting your money directly in the global economy, right? Just say, you get paid and you put your money into the bank, and you're waiting on to pay your bills. But what is the bank doing with our money while they have possession of our money? It's not just sitting there. It's getting put in the global economy, where they're making 12% off of our money, giving us less than 1% back. And then, so we teach people to bypass the bank, put your money directly in the global economy, like mutual funds and things. And that way, in essence, you become the owner of the account that your money is in, and not to loan it to traditional banking. Okay. And we like to say a little, we like to show a little funny illustration. I hope I don't offend anyone or anything, but when you walk into any bank in America, it could be Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase Bank. You can walk in any bank, and there's a bowl or a basket sitting on the countertop of a bank, right? And you can grab out as many out of that bowl or basket as you want. Can anybody guess what's sitting on the countertop, or what does the teller give you when you go into any Bank of America in America when you do business with them? Lollipops, right? But they call them suckers. Okay, they've been telling us. They've been telling us that for years. Bring your money in here. And we're going to take your money, make 12% off of you, give you less than 1% back. And they're calling us suckers to our faces, right? So good job with the lollipops. You guessed that right. So this is a particular mutual fund. This is called American Funds. And this mutual fund has been around ever since 1931. And then this particular mutual fund had been in operations ever since December 1st, 1973. But if you look in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen where it says fund lifetime, this mutual fund has been gaining what over the past 48 years? 13.84%, right? And if somebody looks me into my eyes and asks me with confidence, can I definitely get a 12% rate of return on this mutual fund? And I would look them with confidence and say, absolutely yes. Why? Because this has been around for nearly 50 years. Okay. And somebody would want to know, well, what companies would my money be invested in if I was investing in this particular mutual fund? And if you look in the top right-hand corner of my screen, these are all the top 10 companies that your money would be invested in and you would have ownership of if you were investing in this particular mutual fund. And wouldn't you guys say that Facebook is a profitable company, right? Amazon and Netflix, right? Microsoft, Tesla, Alphabet owns Google, United Health Group, Broadcom, MasterCard, ASML. These are all the top 10 companies that your money would be invested in if you invested in this mutual fund. Now, let me ask you, and we're going to take another wild guess. How much do you think you need to put in upfront to get in a mutual fund like this, knowing that you will have ownership of companies like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix? How much do you guys think? Just take a wild guess. I didn't hear that. What'd you say? 500. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else want to guess? 1,000, right? And those are not, that's not a bad guess, right? But I'm going to tell you guys something. This is so wow, right? And I thought the same thing too. But anybody in America can invest in this particular mutual fund, have ownership of these companies, and your initial investment will only have to pay about $25 per month. Anybody in America could get into this mutual fund and have ownerships of these companies for as low as $25 per month. That's it. Now, wouldn't you say if our people knew better, we would definitely do better? Absolutely. And so we just want to give our people more hope and opportunity and share this information with them. All right. And so we're going to look at how our numbers don't lie, right? So this is the power of getting a 12%. So let's say that you were putting your money in $25. All right. Let's say you've been doing that for about 30 years. You take, $25 over a 30-year period, you would have put in $900 to a bank just sitting there, right? And then and it would mature if you were, if getting that 12%, it would mature to 88,000 over a 30-year period. You put in $100 a month over a 30-year period, you would have paid in $36,000, but it would mature to 352,000. Okay. And if you were putting in $500 a month over a 30-year period, you would put in 180,000, but it will mature to 1.7 million. They say that a picture is worth what? 1,000 words. And we just like to make it plain. And so that there it is. And let me just share with you guys a funny illustration. Let's say that you've been paying $100 per month for a life insurance policy for $100,000 life. Let's say it was a $200,000 life insurance policy. You're putting in $100 a month, you know. And so over a 30-year period, you've paid the life insurance company $36,000 of your money. Okay. So you've been paying that for over 30 years. Let's say something unfortunately happens. Life does happen, right? You die. All right. They're going to pay your family the $200,000 life insurance, or let's say it was $100,000. They're going to pay your family the $100,000 life insurance claim. But guess what? They grew your money to $352,000, paying your family $100,000. So they were able to make $252,000 off of the money that you put in. So we just like to give people more hope and opportunity for this information because, you know, if our people knew better, they would definitely do better. And we tell people what you don't need is life insurance. And it's funny, I'm a life insurance agent. You don't need life insurance. What you need is money. But until you get some money, you need some life insurance just to protect your family. And so I'm going to show you the importance of life insurance now. Now, here's a husband and wife. This is a real life example, husband and wife, and they both make $3,500 between the both of them. They're able to pay all their bills, mortgage, car, insurance, etc. And so they make about $7,000 and their bills, you know, they have these bills. And so let's say that if the husband dies, if this happens, what would that family lose? Yeah, they will lose half of everything, right? And so can the wife call the insurance company, car company, and say, hey, cut my expenses, my husband died? Can she do that? Yeah, she can do that, but she's not gonna, you know, they're not gonna do it, you know, unfortunately. So she's gonna struggle, wouldn't you agree? So now, what if she had a plan in place to replace that income? And so that's the purpose and the power of life insurance, you know, and people think, you know, that you can do GoFundMe's, raise dinners, do car washes, and all that can definitely work to help that family. But it's about much more than that. It's about helping, you know, it's about replacing the income so that the family can continue to pay for those monthly obligations on what the family was used to paying, right? And so, how do you guys feel about GoFundMe? Let's have a little conversation about that. I mean, it's good, right, in some aspects, but how do you feel? What family, you know, they don't usually, people are shying away from that because they should have their affairs in order, right? Exactly. And so that's the purpose and the power of life insurance. It just shows that your family is protected, responsibility has been taken care of, but the life insurance has a little bad secret, and I'm gonna share that secret with you right now. Now, I hope I don't mean to offend anybody or anything, and if you have this type of policy, I apologize. Maybe we can have a conversation later, but we've been taught about some things going on in our you know, as we were younger, we were taught some things, but over the years, you know, we've learned different. So let me jump into it. They've been marketing the most expensive type of life insurance to our company, our community, called cash value life insurance, okay? Where you have whole life, universal, and variable life. But the reason why it's the most expensive is because you're actually paying for two things. You're paying for life insurance, if just in case you pass away, and you're also paying for a savings that's attached to that policy, if you guys are familiar with that. But so let me show you. So let's say, okay, and I'm sorry, I'm going ahead of myself, you guys. I'm sorry about that. And so let me show you this illustration right here where there's $100,000 on John and Mary, right? They're both married. They put $100,000 on John, $100,000 on Mary. They were paying $225 a month. And so the agent told them 30 years later at age 65, they're going to have $76,000 built up into that savings. Okay. But the agent failed to tell them about the savings rules that's attached to the policy, right? The agent failed to tell them that their money's not going to go grow for the first 2 to 5 years. Okay, let me make that plain. Let's say that you've been paying me $100 a month for your savings. Okay, and now at the end of the year, I have $1,200 of your money. You came to me to get some of your money, and I tell you, you don't have no money. Okay, you're gonna have to go and get on your knees and pray to God to the things that you might have been thinking of me, because where's your money? Am I correct? You know, so that's that first rule. And the second rule is, once you do have money built up into that in that savings, you can't just go borrow your money. You just can't go get your money. You have to pay the insurance company 4 to 6% interest just to borrow your own money. And that doesn't make any sense either. And the third rule is, they keep the money if you die. Let me just make that plain, okay? So let's just say that you've been paying $225 for life insurance in case you die, then savings just in case, and so you die, and the family only gets $100,000, and they keep the savings that's built up into that policy. And I don't understand why they do that. And it's in the fine print. And the reason why most 80% of our people have this type of policy is, when they got their policy in their hand, they didn't do the first thing that they should have done when they get that policy. They should have read it, right? Or had somebody help them read it and understand it. It's like a book, and so you really don't get to get through that. And so we don't market this stuff. What we do is buy term. We teach people to buy term, okay, and invest the difference. Let's say that you take that same 225, right? And so we were able to put $250,000 on John and Mary at a 30-year level term, okay? And so they were paying $80 a month, not $225. So we saved them $145 savings, right? And guess what we had them do with that savings that we saved them? We had them put that into that mutual fund that I was speaking of. And now at the age 65, they're going to have $265,000 built up into that mutual fund, and they don't need life insurance anymore. And guess what? If they do die, their family gets what's in that mutual fund and not some insurance company savings or loan. Okay. And we just ask people, which program would they choose? The one on the left or the one on the right? Now, have you guys ever heard of Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman? Yep. So these are the two people that have nationally syndicated radio and TV shows across this country, teaching people about personal finance. And Oprah Winfrey usually has Susie Orman come on her show when she has a segment about finance. And Oprah Winfrey, she's pretty good with finance, right? But Dave Ramsey says that cash value life insurance is one of the worst financial products ever. And Susie Orman says that you should only look for one type of life insurance, and term life is the way to go, right? And so we get in front of typical clients, right? We get in front of single mothers, they may not make a lot of money, but they also want to have a savings just in case something happens to them, single mothers, single fathers. We put together a $100 game plan for that single mother, right? We take $50 of that and put together a $300,000 life insurance policy on her. We take the other $50 and we put it into a mutual fund. Why? Because if she does die, somebody will be able to take care of her child. If she has $300,000 in life insurance coverage, they'll be able to take care of her daughter, send her to college, take good care of her. If she doesn't die, she'll have about $350,000 to $400,000 built up into that mutual fund, and she won't need life insurance anymore. Okay, 30 years later, she won't need it anymore. And we get in front of typical seniors in their 60s. They say life expectancy of a senior, of a woman, is 86 and a man 84. Okay. And so we put together a game plan for them. Why? We'd be able to put $65,000 in coverage on him for about $25,000 in coverage. okay, so that the family can memorialize or take care of any final expenses for them. And then if he doesn't die 20 years later, we put that $35 into that mutual fund. About 20 years later, if he don't die, he'll have about $50,000 built up into that mutual fund savings account, and he can fire his life insurance company, right? And so our target market, all right, and I'm wrapping this, and I'm on my last few slides. Our goal is to serve the middle market, and despite of our tremendous achievements, we have barely scratched the surface of our market share. We're at 2.8 market share, and we're looking to grow that to 5%. And so I feel like I'm little old me that marches out and talks about this stuff a lot. I don't know. I don't run into too many life insurance agents, but we need your help. I mean, we need people like you, like somebody like you, special person that wants to do something like this to reach more people in our community. Right. And so you guys know the people that need our products. It's your friends, it's your family, like, your Facebook friends, coworkers, social media contacts. Introduce them to our company, and it could create a massive income opportunity for you. Right. And so you guys know, let's say, okay, I only have maybe like $100 people in my phone, right? My contacts, right? And say that I have 100 people on my Facebook, 100 friends on my Facebook. So how many of those 200 people want to save more money, make more money, and maybe get out of debt and help out in the community? We would say about most of them, right? Like all of them want to save more money, make more money, right? And so, and let me just say, most people today, wouldn't you say that they're tired of having a boss and a job and working at the end, working but not having enough at the end of the month, right? And so we have the perfect solution. And so we would say, well, why don't you start your own financial service business? Right. And so some people will be intimidated to do that because they would have to get licensed, which I can show you how to get licensed within about 2 weeks. All right. And they would need to learn how to get clients or agents and train you on how to use that license. And we have a perfect partnership that works. Let me show you. We take you, and you may not have a lot of money nor a lot of time to figure this business out. And then, I don't like to speak about money when I'm in the too much. So please forgive me. But there's a background check that you do. It's only $124, right? And let me explain this to you. We ask you to get 10 people on a webinar in your first week, just to watch our webinar and let them just see, just take a look at it. No skin in the game, right? And we will pay you $124 bonus just for getting 10 people to watch this webinar. They don't have to really do anything. If they want something, cool. If they don't, no problem. You get 10 people to watch this webinar, and we will give you $124 just for getting 10 people to watch this webinar. And so we will introduce you to our company, and our organization will pay $1,200 to get that license that you need. And then some states it don't cost that much, but some states it does. All right. And so you would just show up to office trainings, which is done right here on Zoom, and we will train you on the system. Now, let me show you our system, and it's easy and it's simple. So we take you, right? And so in your first week, you will get 10 people onto a webinar like this, right? And you don't want to call people, because when you call them, they're going to ask you all kinds of what? They're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions that you don't have a whole bunch of answers for. So we tell you, you just send this text message. All right. And so we get those 10 people on this webinar, and some people are going to do something. Some people quit church. They quit going to the gym. They quit everything, right? It's going to go in one ear and out the other, but that's okay. You got those 10 people on the webinar. And if one of those persons get a life insurance policy, we will pay you a bonus of $224 just for getting 10 people to watch this webinar and just getting for one person that wants a life insurance policy. Yep, that's simple. In your first week, you'll have 2 clients, 2 business partners. You'll make about 6 plus 224, about $800 in your first week. And all you did was invite people onto a webinar like this. In your second week, you do the same thing. You get 10 different people to watch this webinar, and you don't want to call them either. You use that same text message, get those 10 people on this webinar. It's going to go in one ear and right out the other. And if one of those people get a life insurance policy, we'll give you 224 again for getting those 10 people onto the webinar. You'll have about, in your second week, you'll have about 4 clients now. If people want to do what you do, you'll have about 4 business partners. You've made about $1,100 in your first week. I mean, your second week. You repeat the same thing in week 3. Week 4, we'll have you licensed, trained with 6+ business partners, and we have established you a business within a month. And in your first 90 to 120 days, you're licensed, plus you'll have 4 partners, right? And if all 5 of you do 1 life insurance policy a week, just 1, that would pay you about $6,000 or more in 1 month on a part-time basis, right? And so some people will be making enough money here part-time, and they would want to know, well, what is it? How do I become full-time? And all full-time means is you become a business coach. Now, let me ask you, if you have your life insurance license, wouldn't you be able to show me how to get mine if you got yours? That's all a business coach is, right? And then you earn about $1,300,000 per month on a part-time basis, right? And so here's some our success stories. These are part-time people. They love what they do. They came here part-time. This couple is a teacher, office manager, employment specialist, right? And so they love what they do. They just wanted to come here to supplement their income. And so these people make about $1,000 to nearly $3,000 a month on a part-time basis. And here's some of our full-time success stories. And 2 of these people never even graduated high school. All right. And they make about $300,000 to $400,000 a year doing this business here full-time. And so our target we're the largest independent financial marketing company in North America with over 130,000 licensed representatives. And we're listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and our stock symbol is PRI. We've been in business ever since 1977. All right. And so we have approximately 5 million lives insured and approximately 2 million investment clients. Okay. And so what's next? All right. What's next is, so usually I would say you would get a text message. Okay. And so in that text message, it would say, just following up after the webinar, what interests you the most? Getting more information about life insurance and investments, getting started into this business, or both. And so, I won't be texting you, but you can definitely reach out to Mom Brand. You can definitely reach out to me. She would give you, I'm not for sure she has my business cards or not, but she has my phone number. And even Aunt Sharon has my phone number, and Cousin Neat. And so if anybody is interested in doing what I do, or even want to do something like this part-time, or just want to help out and invite 10 people to the webinar, and make some, income that way. We just want to get the word out and make sure people are properly protected, make sure people know about saving money properly. These kids are going out and they graduating, and congratulations to them. But say some grandparents are like, well, I want to give my child a savings account, my graduate my grandchild a savings account. And I had a lady, start a $25 a month not life insurance policy, but an investment just for her child, to her grandchild, for college. And I thought that was fantastic. And I just wanted to share that with you real quick. I never even thought of that. And she was like, I want to start this for my grandson. And that was beautiful. But guys, let me know if you guys have any questions now for me. You can ask away. And I really appreciate, and I'm grateful to be in front of you all this morning. And I really felt the spirit of the service as I entered the Zoom room. I want to let you all know that. And thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again for enlightening us. Because knowledge, knowledge is powerful.
You're welcome.
Can you hear me?
No, what you said?
Thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing
you're from.
your information. Knowledge is powerful, but not until we use it. So thank you for the knowledge you have given us today. And hopefully we can get some of our young people involved, because the longer you wait, it's not in your favor.
Absolutely.
Get them
Absolutely.
young, get them young. And
Yes.
even if you're not young, if you start anytime, you can save money. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you for enjoying our service and our worship service this morning. And we will get Mom Bryn or some of us will contact you. Um, we got your phone number,
Okay.
so we can call you anytime.
Yes, you guys can. Yes. Amen. Yes.
All right. Blessings to
All
your
right.
family. Blessings
Thank
to your family.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you. I received that.
Thank
Blessings,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Blessings. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.